Hi, today is February 3rd, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first poem is poem number 198, Enter to Win. Last week I bought some sugar-free lemonade drink mix for my daughter, and while I was at it, some sugar-free root beer drink mix caught my eye, and I used to love root beer, so I bought that too. And I have had the sugar-free root beer drink mix a couple of times, and it's not unpleasant, but there's something about stevia that bums me out a bit. So I don't know if I will be having the sugar-free root beer drink mix all that often. I think I've only had it twice so far, maybe 3 times. But the last time I had it, I looked at the package and it had a QR code, and above it said, "Enter to win. Free drink mix for a year," and I was horrified because I know how much fun it can be to enter to win. But what if I won? Then I would have free sugar-free root beer drink mix for a year. I feel like I already have enough sugar-free root beer drink mix for the year, but the A&W people's idea of free drink mix for a year might be quite different from my idea, and I could win way more sugar-free root beer drink mix than I could ever possibly want. But the QR code looks so inviting. Sometimes it's hard not to enter to win, even when you don't want to win. Poem number 199, The Poems That Didn't Happen. I've got to be a bit more careful with the clipboard. Yesterday morning, as is often the case, there were leftover ideas and poem titles that I didn't use, so I clipped them. But then, before I pasted them elsewhere, I clipped something else, which meant that those ideas and titles were gone. I remember 2 of them. I've been wanting to write a poem called Maharishi versus Prabhupada for several days. I just haven't yet because it will require some research that I haven't felt like doing yet. The other one is called You Know What You Did, and I think maybe it was half written before I decided to save it for later, but it's not saved for later anymore. It's gone. And if I'm going to write You Know What You Did, I'm going to have to start again from scratch. And I don't know if I feel like doing that today, but I may. One thing I know is I'm not going to write Maharishi versus Prabhupada today. I may never write that one. That happens sometimes too. I have a file of abandoned poem ideas that were kicking around in my head for maybe a week before I stopped transferring to the notes to the next day's poems and instead transferred them to the abandoned poems file. Ugh, this isn't interesting and I have strayed. I just wanted to whine a little about having lost maybe half a poem and maybe an idea or 2 or 3. You could, I suppose, say to me, "Jesus fuck, Johnny, you've already written like 4,000 poems since October of 2020 and 200 poems this year. Do you really give a fuck about 1 or 2 or 3 poems you didn't write?" And I suppose if you said that to me, I would say to you, it hasn't been 4,000 poems. It's only been 3,893, and it hasn't been 200 poems. It's only been 199. And you could say, I didn't say 4,000 or 200. I said like 4,000 and like 200, and I would have to concede that point. But I would also say that just because I may be happy about the poems that have happened so far, that doesn't mean I can't be sad for the poems that didn't happen and will never happen. And I am a little sad for the poems that didn't happen and may never ever happen because of my stupidity with the clipboard yesterday. I will get over it, but I am a little sad. Poem number 200. People don't come up to me and they don't ask me, "Johnny, how long are you going to keep this going?" But if they were to ask me, I would say that last year I got this idea that I wanted to write 10,000 poems in 5 years, which would mean that I would like to keep going until 2026. But 2026 is such an ugly sounding name for a year, so maybe I will go until 2027, but then 2028 will be an election year, and I may want to see that through because who knows, maybe the election of 2028 will be the most important election of my lifetime because no matter how consequential 2016 was or 2024 may be, 2028 may be even more so. You just never know about these things, and it's not like I think I would write some amazing political poetry in 2028. I am usually not particularly pleased with my political poetry, but sometimes political poetry is fun to write. But more importantly, I often write non-political poetry to keep my mind off of politics because politics tends to disturb me, and if politics is particularly disturbing in 2028 and it very well may be, I very well may want to distract myself with a constant daily flow of non-political poetry. So I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say that I'll probably keep writing until at least 2029, but I really don't know. Poem number 201, Leiden and Trump. I remember how shocked I was when I heard a few years ago that Leiden had come out for Trump. For a while there, I was like, fuck Leiden then. But then I heard Hawaii by Public Image Limited, and fuck me, I fucking love that song. And I had to be like, okay, maybe not fuck John Lydon. And then the other day, I was looking for a shirt, which I still haven't found, by the way, and I'm kind of pissed off about that. And as I was looking for it, I thought to myself, I know what I want. And then I heard in my head Lydon, back when he was rotten, singing, don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. And then I thought, oh yeah, that is like the people who love Trump. They don't know what they want, but they know how to get it. Because how else do you explain it? Anarchy for the USA. It's coming sometime, maybe. Poem number 202. This is the last one for today. The shirt. Right after I wrote that last poem, I said, fuck me, I really want to wear that shirt today. So I really fucking looked for it, and I fucking found it. I'm wearing it now. I'm too fat for it these days, and it's old and torn in certain places. So I will probably never wear it outside again, even if one day I am thin enough to wear it outside again. But it was good for today's negation, and it's good for today's poems, and it will be good for future negations and future poems. It's like that dog Nixon had. Regardless of what they say about it, I'm going to keep it. All right, thank you for listening. It's a little longer than they've been lately, but maybe one was good. I don't know. And if you want even more, God help you, and you're in the New York area, Tuesday, February 7th, 7 p.m., KGB Bar at 85 East 4th Street. That's where I will be with some other folks, reading some poems. Maybe not any of these, but who knows, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you.